We begin tonight with breaking news. A late-night shooting in Starkville lands one person behind bars. Now police are searching for two others. Police are looking for these two men, 30-year-old Deontay Doss and 26-year-old Quintavious Lawrence, both from Starkville. The duo was wanted for attempted aggravated assault that stems from a shooting incident at Chandler Park Apartments earlier tonight. 23-year-old DeMarcus Sly is already in custody in connection with that shooting. Investigators say no injuries were reported during the incident. If anyone has any information on this shooting or know where these men are at tonight, you're asked to contact the Starkville Police Department. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey signs what could be the nation's strictest anti-abortion bill. Ivey signed the measure late this afternoon. The law will make performing an abortion at any stage of pregnancy a felony, punishable by 10 to 99 years or life in prison. Now, the bill contains an exception for when the pregnancy creates a serious health risk for the woman, but there are no exceptions for rape or incest. Also, there would be no punishment for the woman receiving the abortion, only for the abortion provider. Some lawmakers expressed their desire to have the law challenged in court, and it's likely they'll get their wish. Well, Mississippi lawmakers know a little something about these court challenges. The state is already in the midst of two legal battles surrounding restrictive abortion laws. A 15-week ban was passed by lawmakers just last year, and a 6-week ban was passed this year. Courtney Ann Jackson has the latest from opponents and supporters here in the Magnolia State.
Those who support abortion rights question why Mississippi lawmakers keep tightening the ban, despite the precedent.
Thousands, maybe millions in taxpayer dollars that are going to be invested in these bills that they know are going to be found unconstitutional. It makes no sense in the poorest state in the nation. How can we do that?
I asked Senator Joey Fillingane if he thought any of the abortion bans signed into law in states would ever take effect, or if the intent was always just to prompt the Supreme Court to review Roe v. Wade.
That's an excellent question, and the honest answer is that none of us really know yet. I know that the Trump administration has put in place a whole bunch of very conservative judges, both at the federal district court level. But the most important factor is that, of course, there have been two Supreme Court justices appointed by President Trump.
Fillingane notes that both circuit courts that Alabama and Mississippi fall within are considered to be conservative. He says that because these kinds of challenges take time, the makeup of the Supreme Court could still shift even further in the conservative direction by that time.
We have to carry forward the people's will as part of our legislative responsibilities, and that's what we've done to try to protect the unborn in the state of Mississippi.
Regardless of the court's makeup, Dorinda Hancock says the fight can't stop.
When that many states are working on bills like this, we're doomed. We've got to fight back, and we've got to fight back right now.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
There's a new top cop in Louisville. On Tuesday, city leaders unanimously agreed to appoint Sean Holderness as the new chief of police. This decision comes after current chief Elam Claiborne announced his retirement. Holderness previously worked with the Mississippi Highway Patrol and also serves as lieutenant colonel in the Mississippi Air National Guard. At this time, an official start date for Holderness has not been set. An Ethelsville woman is accused of ramming a vehicle that passed by her home. Pickens County Sheriff David Afton says Tammy Vail followed the car and rammed it several times. Afton believes she was trying to force the vehicle off the road. Vail eventually abandoned her vehicle on Mocking Road and was later found up an embankment along some railroad tracks. Vail is charged with 4 counts of attempted assault, leaving the scene of an accident and probation violation. Well, it is now time to turn our attention over to weather, and many parts of our viewing area received a nice ray of sunshine. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey is standing by with a first look at our forecast. Jacob.
Hey Quentin, we've been looking at the sky cams through the evening here, catching a few flashes of lightning to the north of Tupelo. Right now, though, seems like things are winding down. Temperature is 72 out there. Our dew point value is now into the low 60s. That south wind has slowly been bringing some more moisture into the area. Feel a little more sticky and humid tomorrow, a little closer to summertime. to summertime. Here's that band of showers and few storms that was earlier. It is decaying as it moves to the south here. Still will not rule out a few isolated showers overnight tonight. Earlier, though, those storms actually produced some fairly big-sized hail. Had some quarters to golf ball-sized hail from Memphis up to northeast Arkansas and in south Missouri. Overnight tonight, the chances there for an isolated storm still partly cloudy with temperatures down into the low to mid-60s. We'll have their full forecast coming up in just a bit.
Thanks so much, Jacob. People searching for work built a lasting legacy at a North Mississippi State Park. Today, a statue is unveiled to honor their hard work during the Great Depression that came with a New Deal. Our Allie Martin was there and has more.
The unveiling of the statue at Tishomingo State Park carries a personal connection for this crowd.
I had a brother that served here in the CC camp, and there was hard times back then, and what they did meant a lot to the families. There's no other jobs.
State Senator J.P. Wallman's older brother Yule, who worked with the Civilian Conservation Corps, or CCC. That federal agency was one of the New Deal's first programs. It put a lot of people to work during the Great Depression. Hank Leonard's grandfather, Clifford Worsham, was a project engineer at Tishomingo State Park. His grandfather told him many stories about those tough days. Workers were paid $30 a month, with most of it going back to their family.
Gave them a way to make money, and they were doing actual physical labor. They were learning responsibilities and leadership. Taught them more than just the work they were doing here. Taught them stuff that would go on through their lives.
By far the most popular attraction at the state park is the swinging bridge, built by hand by hundreds of men in the Civilian Conservation Corps. That's why Friends of the Park and others say it's important to honor them and let people know about the rich history of Tishomingo State Park.
The CCC is a group of the ones that built it, and we tried to put on the statue a little bit about the history so that people get an idea of it. It's been a long time, but they've built these parks all over the country, and they have been good for future generations to enjoy.
Friends of Tishomingo State Park raised the money for the statue. Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Now, there are only 8 states without a memorial honoring the CCC workers who built parks all across the nation during the Great Depression.
Well, we'll watch for a few isolated storms both tonight and tomorrow. Overall, though, things are looking very dry. Summer weather, though, it's arriving. We've got those full details coming up here after the break.
CBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with meteorologist Jacob Dickey.
Right now in downtown Columbus, a comfortable 72. It is perhaps a little bit humid out there. Dew points at 66. Earlier this week, they were in the low 50s across the air. Here's that batch of decaying showers and storms that came on through Tennessee, now sliding into our area. Really, once we lost the heating of the day, we lose that energy. What few showers we had then really fizzling out, looking fairly dry up I-22 northwest of New Albany towards Memphis. Just a few little spot showers here and there. And notice they really tumble away here as we go through the last hour or so. As we look ahead through the temperatures right now, temperatures are in those 70s at 72 in Columbus, 66 in Starkville, 69 in Louisville, 68 in Amory. So it is a little cooler out there, but not warm enough where we can keep that instability in place. There's a lot of moisture in the air, though. It feels a little more sticky out there. Definitely not a night to have the windows open. They do point at 66 in Columbus and in Amory, 64 in Starkville, 64 also in Tupelo, Calhoun City at 65. Because of that, I think lows tonight only heading down into the low, perhaps mid-60s out there. Where we got some of those clouds to the north, I think we may keep things into the more closer to the mid-60s. Still, though, 62 in Columbus, 61 in Starkville, 63 in Amory, 60 in Kosciuszko, Louisville, and Eupora overnight tonight. We will leave the chance for an isolated shower or storm on the board. As we go into Thursday, a few more isolated storms are possible. Temperatures heading for the mid to upper 80s out there. The winds will also be out of the west between 3 and 7 miles an hour. We'll get up to 87 in Tupelo, 86 in Amory, 85 in Bruce, Calhoun City, and in Houston. Maybe a little bit warmer to the south into the Golden Triangle. Columbus, West Point, and Starkville all the way up to 87, 88 in Macon and in DeKalb. We'll see 86 in Winona. The best chance to see some pop-up showers and storms on Thursday, tomorrow, will be in West Alabama. 84 in Soligent, 85 in Vernon, Aliceville, and in Reform. Here's what we're thinking Futurecast. 8 a.m. We're looking fairly dry across the area. We see some partly cloudy sky perhaps. Notice as we get into the afternoon, clouds increase, some pop-up showers and storms, more so into Alabama than anything. I won't rule them out into northeast Mississippi, but seems like it'll be Lamar County, maybe as far west as the Highway 45 corridor. By Thursday night, then things dry out, and that'll be the start of a couple of days of dry weather for us. As we look at the rainfall totals, too, that tells the story how isolated things are. Very light amounts across the area. If you get a shower, maybe up to a tenth of an inch, won't rule out a quarter inch. Very isolated, though, not worried about any flooding as far as this goes. That's good news as we're in a bit of a dry stretch here. That dry weather will continue, too, once we get through those isolated Thursday showers. Friday and Saturday, looking warm, dry, and partly cloudy here. As we get into Saturday night, perhaps into Sunday, the chances there for a few isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll be keeping those on the board into Monday as well. The temperatures, though, upper 80s all the way through here. I've held off on 90, but I really think there's a good chance someone will hit 90 by the weekend. We'll be keeping you updated on that.
If you're ready to make a career move or looking for a job, well, get your resumes ready and come to the Starkville Community Job Fair. It's going on tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Starkville Sportsplex. More than 30 businesses will be there from a variety of career fields, including industry, education, healthcare, and military. Employers will be there taking resumes, interviewing, and possibly hiring. The job fair is open to the public. A silent demonstration has a loud message. We hear what these cycling advocates have to say when we come back. Welcome back. When it comes to strokes, minutes really do matter. That's why it's important to be able to recognize the symptoms fast. We learn more in tonight's Health Talk with the Baptist.
Hi, I'm Belinda Sanderson, Director of Quality at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. Last time, we discussed the FAST method of identifying a stroke. Tonight, I want to review additional ways to tell if you or someone else is having a stroke. If you or anyone else is experiencing these symptoms, seek medical attention immediately. Sudden numbness. Sudden numbness or weakness of the face, arm, or leg, especially on one side of the body. Sudden confusion. Sudden confusion, trouble speaking or understanding speech. Sudden trouble seeing. Sudden trouble seeing in one or both eyes. Sudden trouble walking. Sudden trouble walking, dizziness, loss of balance or coordination. Sudden severe headache. Sudden severe headache with no known cause. A transient ischemic attack is often called a mini stroke, but in reality it's a major warning sign. A TIA is a temporary blockage of blood flow to the brain. Since it doesn't cause permanent damage, it's often ignored, but this is a big mistake. TIAs may signal a full-blown stroke ahead. When it comes to spotting stroke and getting help, the faster the better. That's because prompt treatment may make the difference between life and death, or the difference between full recovery and a long-term disability. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist as we discuss additional steps to take to lower your risk of having a stroke.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Bicyclists took to the streets today to remember fellow cyclists who were killed by motorists. The annual Ride of Silence is observed the third Wednesday in May as a way to remember the fallen cyclists. The Northeast Mississippi Cycling Club organizes this local event. Cyclists say it's important to remember those who were hurt or killed while doing what they love. They also say they hope this event raises awareness of safety and rules of the road for motorists.
On July the 5th at about 10 in the morning in broad daylight, wearing my orange jersey with a red flashing light on the back of my bike, I got hit by a car. It was going 70 miles an hour. I spent a month in the hospital and another 3 or 4 months learning to walk again.
Getting to be that time of year when schools are letting out, kids are graduating, there's going to be more people outside enjoying the roads, not just cyclists but runners too, and just everybody be aware.
Now, the names of cyclists who were hurt and killed in Mississippi were read out loud before the Ride of Silence today. The final week of high school baseball season is starting in style. Championship highlights from all over the state next in sports.
BI Sports with Tom Ebel.
For the second time in 3 years and the second time in program history, tournament softball will go through Oxford. The last time the Rebels hosted a NCAA regional was the Cinderella 2017 season, which also saw the program's first SEC tournament championship. 3 players remain from that magic season: Brittany Finney, Kylan Becker, and Kaylee Horton. Head coach Mike Smith says he's relied on those 3 to prepare his team for postseason play.
We talked a little bit about it at practice the other day and just what we're about to experience. I had them turn around and say, look what's being built out there for you guys, and just picture the crowds. You've seen the pictures in my office, and it's a picture of the regional in 17 and a picture of that. So they know what we're about to experience.
I was telling them since the middle of season that we needed to get some big wins because I wanted to host the regional, and people don't really understand how important it is for seeding wise, like all these wins and stuff. And I would just keep telling them that it's the best feeling ever. I'm so excited, like we need a host.
I think some of the things we've talked about going into it is just, it's still a game. The game doesn't change, the game doesn't remember. It's absolutely the same thing you've been doing since you were 9, 8, 10, however old, you know what I mean? And so I think just really remaining in that humble spot and knowing that, you can do this, you've practiced this all your life, is just what to take away.
Championship baseball underway at Trustmark Park. Calhoun City taking on Taylorsville in the 2A title. Gage Lucius on the mound. He's going to get some help from Joby Cook, gunning out the runner at second. Wildcats trailing 3-0. Bottom of the 4th, trying to get a rally started. Preston Conley with a base hit. Nothing going. Wildcats are trailing 4-0. Bases loaded, no outs. Cook gets one to second. An interference would be called at second. Wildcats would score a run, but Coach Miller wouldn't be pleased and he'd be ejected from the ball game. Taylorsville scoring 5 in the top of the 7th. Tartars go on to win 8-1 in game 1. North Pontotoc back in the 3A title game, taking on McGee. Top first, McGee looking for a base hit, but Ethan Dyer, what a catch for the out to end an inning. It says no soup for you. Bottom second tie ball game. Bo Howell laces one down the left field line for a stand-up double. Howell would later score, same inning, 2-1 V-Men. Caden Wilson with an RBI single. That's going to bring home Hayes Malone. Vikings up 3-1. They put up a 4 spot in the second, and North Pontotoc dominates game 1. Just 1 win away from its first ever state title. V-Men get the dub 12-2. Lafayette taking on West Jones in the 5A state championship. Bottom second, Lafayette trailing 5-0. Stephen Westbrook gets it past the second baseman for a single, trying to get a rally started for the Doors, but nothing happening. But here comes West Jones. Adam Bassett, base hit to shallow center field. That'll score 2 Mustangs, and they take a 7-0 lead. Bottom of the 3rd, Lafayette gets on the board, courtesy of Tyrus Williams. Hits one to left field for an RBI single. But that'd be their only run of the day. West Jones dominates game 1, 10-1. Championship baseball in Columbus. Heritage taking on Wayne Academy for the AAA crown. Pats up 3-0. Blaze Berry prefers his mashed taters with some extra gravy. See you later baseball over the deep left center field wall. 2-run homer gives Heritage the 5-0 lead. And the man does it all. Berry protecting the lead in the 5th. 2 strikeouts plus another out. He's able to get out of the inning unscathed, scoreless through 4. And then the bottom of the 5th, Parker Ray with an RBI single to add on to the run support. Carter Putt able to score. Patriots take game 1, 6-1. 1 win away from the title coming up in Waynesboro on Friday. ICC hosting the NJCAA tournament. Mississippi Gulf Coast, its opening round opponent. Here, Tupelo alum LeBryant Siddell with an RBI single. That gets the Indians on the board. And then after a wild pitch ties the game, Brett Coker single to right. That brings home Siddell. So ICC with the early lead. Bottom of the 2nd, Russell Bunch, Itawamba AHS alum, tags one and brings some runners home. And Jackson Lancaster from Corinth able to get a home run as well. This game still hasn't ended. It's 8-7 after 7. We'll update you on our website as soon as we can. But that's it for sports. Last look at your weather is next.
Watching for a few isolated showers on Thursday. Dry and warm Friday and Saturday. Someone will hit 90. I'm going to put that down in the betting table right now. Really think we're going to get that first 90 out of the way here. Some scattered showers and storms possible on Sunday. Fingers crossed we can hold them off as long as possible. More also on Monday.
So a clear Saturday, so it'll be a good time for me to get out and mow my yard.
Or go to the pool.
I think that's what I'll do. Have a good night, everyone.